Now, Dragon Ball Super is at a stage where a person should ask from himself that, hey, I mean, is this really that legacy that Akira Toriyama left behind? Or is this really that anime that withstand this whole passage of kind of thing and just has remained to continuously be one of the most popular animes of all time? Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is yours truly, Byron here, and today I'm gonna be discussing this new form that recently was released from an image from Yonka Production, and I also think that Humps 98 also did it, as far as I can remember. So, now, coming to the first section of this video, what this form cannot be. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind when I look at these snake eyes is that it cannot literally never ever be that primal form, and there is a reason for it. Now, when you look at the origin, the species, the genetics, the DNA coding of a Saiyan is very similar to a chimpanzee, and one might even go as far as to say, hey, I mean, Saiyans are literally chimpanzees, they are gorilla, right? And they evolved slowly through the millions of years of process and turned into a very civilized being, even though their civilized being paradigm would not ever suit the earthlings format. But anyways, that's just besides the point. Now, when you look at the chimpanzee's pupil, their eyes, you can clearly see that they are ocular, they are spherical, okay? So the primal form is literally the farthest thing that this form can be. Point number 2, it cannot be Kaioken. Now, before I make this claim, please give me a chance to open up a little bit. Now, here's a quote from Goku himself about Kaioken. It's the Kaioken attack. It's like a massive upsurge of energy. Everything is heightened. Power, speed, even hearing and vision improve dramatically. You sort of become a super self, but it can only be sustained for a short time. So you have to get the job done quickly. Anyways, so the point is, how do you take the Kaioken technique in regards of transformation, in regards of power up, boost, and things of that nature? Now, here's a logical conclusion. Think of Kaioken as like a Goku's shadow. The more stronger Goku's body get, the more stronger, the more battle experience, the more durability, the more stamina Goku's body gets, his shadow, the Kaioken, is gonna experience very similar developments. So to sum it all up, Goku's body and the Kaioken are very closely linked together and go hand to hand. Point number 3. Now, this cannot be in any way related to the Earthling ki, the normal ki. And by that I mean that Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3 are just out of the question. But it's a big claim, so allow me to explain what I mean from my position. Now, here's a graph in front of your screen. In the middle, as you can see, this is Goku's base form. Now, a Saiyan, a person, has 2 chambers within him. The left chamber is known as the God Ki, and the right chamber is known as the Mortal's Ki, the normal Ki, the Super Saiyan Ki, or you might add. Now, a person can only tap into one chamber at a time. And what is the result of tapping into this chamber is that the color of the aura changes, because they both chambers follow a completely different principle, and it is yet very important to understand them. Now, the principle that goes into unlocking the God Ki is that a person has to suppress his ki so much to the point that he does not allow it to even leak out of his body, and the person standing in front of him cannot even sense his ki. Sense his presence but not his ki. Now, the continuous suppression in the ki causes the color of the aura to change, and therefore a transformation with blue aura known as the Super Saiyan Blue. But on the right hand, the Super Saiyan technique, also follows a completely different principle that goes into unlocking it. Is this: the anger basically is the cause of unlocking this chamber. Similar to how like you can think of it in this way, like volcanoes, right? The rise in the temperature causes the volcanoes to erupt and the lava to explode, and boom, here we go. In Goku's case, this is the new transformation. The anger, the feelings, and the protection kind of like stuff allows the body to push its limit, and the ki erupts from his body in such a speed that it causes the aura to change into yellow, and therefore a transformation. So therefore I conclude with this third point that it cannot be the mortal's ki, but rather it can be, to some probability, it can be related to the god chamber, the god ki. Okay, now I'm done with the first section. Now let's move to the second section, and that's gonna be what this form can be. Now okay, just using the same workable model over here on the screen right now, let's begin. It can be a third chamber technique. This form can be related to the third chamber, and by third chamber I mean the destruction ki that is very exclusive to the god of destructions of all 12 universes. And this ki comes with a starter pack of very powerful techniques that are related to destruction, and a person might even add, hey, I mean this is the incinerators kind of thing. Now without a doubt, it is still debatable that these techniques, the Hawkeye technique and other techniques, comes with a status, and that has to be a god of destruction. But anyways, let's just move on to facts and derive our theories from established facts. Okay, now here's the thing. Now in the anime, when we got to see the Battle of Gods arc in the anime, okay, in the series, was that when Beerus stabbed into Goku's stomach with his hand, it was just bound to happen that, hey, that Beerus's ki enters Goku's body and is circulated through his whole body and emerging it and becoming one with his cells, and therefore Goku has this third chamber, the destruction ki chamber, and he can pretty much use it and come to a completely different principle with a completely different chamber. And yes, this is gonna be a very good idea, and I think Akira Toriyama can go down this road. However, this was the manga's execution of doing things. Now in the anime, before the Universal Tournament arc, when Goku was trying to get to Frieza and just ask him to whether or not he should join the team, Sidra compressed his Hawkeye technique into a ki blast and gave it to his henchman and told him to use that technique on Goku and just incinerate him. Okay, but in this process, Goku, when he was trapped into this spherical bomb, he got to experience, he got to feel the destruction ki for the first time in the anime. Now this was the anime's execution, but in the manga's execution, when you go back to like the Zamasu arc, you can clearly see that Goku is using the Hawkeye technique. Now the execution is different to the both cases, but the principle, the cause, and the dots are all connected together. Okay, now here's a clarification. When I first saw this technique, I was literally stunned. I was baffled, like struck by lightning, because this has never ever happened in the history of Dragon Ball Super, that we actually got to see Goku with the snake eyes, and he really gives me the vibe of Orochimaru. But I don't personally think that Akira Toriyama is that dumb that he does not know the classification of species and that chimpanzees don't have the pupils of the snake. I mean, if Goku had the very same eye that he had before from the beginning, then this could have been very easy to come to a logical conclusion and just close this video. Now here's an example that I want to give you. Now we all remember that the Potaro's fusion was permanent, and this was a very established fact for more than 20 years, okay? But when the Zamasu's arc began in the anime, like poof, Akira Toriyama said, hey, just screw that all up and just make new things. So by the end of the day, no matter what you do, no matter what I do, Akira Toriyama is just like, he makes the rules and he breaks the rules. Who's gonna question him, And he just calls it unpredictability. Rather, I should add that this is just sheer stupidity, not unpredictability. Know the difference, bro. But anyways, I think nowadays Dragon Ball Super is just like a money-making machine to Toei Animation and Shonen Jump mangas, and nobody cares about the principles and the legacy that Toriyama leaves behind. And I just don't know. So yeah, I mean, this is gonna be it. If you enjoyed this video and if this video helped you to get to a logical conclusion, then please give it a big thumbs up. Now this is yours truly, Byron here, and I'm gonna get going. And as always, here comes the music.